Okay. Nick A30, the new king of creative. Okay. 30 things you didn't know about Nick A30. Let's check this out. I'll tell you guys if these are right or if these are wrong. If Cypher got it right. Okay, number one. First things first. That is not me. Nicholas Amuni.
Nick A30.
What does that say? Football, guitar, esports? Yeah, that is not me. I've never had the people just Photoshop that.
Nick A30 has been going viral on TikTok.
You're the king. I'm the king.
But that's left everyone with one big question.
Uh-oh.
Is this family-friendly guy
That was a hot pepper video.
hiding any secrets? Well, from his history of fights to his car collection and even a long-lost brother, I dove deep and put together...
Look, it literally says hand exercises for gamers. They wanted me to do that.
these 30 facts that you didn't know about Nick A30.
Dang, he even got
for
the
example,
A.
did you know that Nick A30 swears?
Oh God, we're
And
off to a bad
I know we've all
start.
seen that old video, but that's not what I'm talking about. Because when Nick blew up on Fortnite, old videos resurfaced, specifically in this orange shirt, of him swearing.
Really?
Now, he
At
has
least he
said that he
cursed.
was
He
trying
blocked
to
it out.
imitate his favorite creators back in the day, and while
Don't bring PewDiePie into this. Don't you bring PewDiePie into this.
he doesn't regret it, it's not really who he is.
True.
He was raised to be respectful. He's a family-friendly guy, and he's even gone as far to say that he doesn't even swear off stream.
I've gone as far to say that, and it is true, 100%.
But that's not true, and you know it, Nick, because I did my research, and Nick actually admitted he does sometimes swear.
What?
I listen to music with swearing in it.
And if that wasn't enough, I searched through his
How does that mean I swear, though?
old videos and caught Nick red-handed cussing out a player in OG Fortnite.
Oh, watch this, guys. Watch this.
The
Watch
edge of
this.
the
Watch
universe
this.
and back.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Endure and survive.
The last of us.
Motherfucker! Oh my God! Take a seat.
That was cringy.
Nick, you should
Frigger? How is that
be
cursing?
ashamed. But not about number 2.
How's
Because
that
Nick's
cursing?
name has a secret meaning, and it's actually pretty clever. Nick grew up in Canada, more specifically Nova Scotia,
That's
where he
true.
attended Prince Andrew High School, and that's where Nick found his love for football. He actually
For football.
played outside linebacker for his school team. And for
Wait, this isn't footage of me? Where the heck
he
did I don't
actually
think
played
there's any
outside
footage out there.
linebacker
Some random. What the heck is
for his
this?
school team. And for whatever reason, for his jersey number, he decided to pick, you guessed it, number 30. And Nick's full name is actually Nicholas Amuni,
I'm Uni. Nicholas, I'm Uni. Yeah.
or Nick A. When he decided
Yep.
to start his YouTube channel, he went with Nick A30, with the A being a nod to him being Canadian.
Actually, my first channel that I made was Nick-A-30 because my last name was A. But eventually that got removed because like I used to like have different things like in my description, like extra tags and stuff. And like, you know, like when you go into a description and it says like Fortnite gameplay 2023, Fortnite chapter 4, Fortnite, you weren't supposed to do that kind of stuff. So basically I got some like channel strikes on my video for like, you know, spam tags and whatever the case may be. And I lost all my videos. My first I think you talked about this later because I saw a clip on TikTok. But my first videos that I've actually ever uploaded was a Splinter Cell Double Agent montage. That was my favorite game. And then The Last of Us. But all those Last of Us videos are gone because when I got deleted, I never backed up my videos. Now I do.
He went with Nick A30, with the A being a nod to him being Canadian. But Nick is also a little disgusting because we need to talk about his interesting choice in food. See, Nick A30 lives with Mom A30 and Dad A30.
He looks so
and
young.
Mom A30 is an absolute hero. She prepares a ton of Nick's meals and makes some amazing stuff that he posts to his Instagram.
Yeah.
She's Lebanese, so she makes a lot of Lebanese food. Tuna tartare, lamb kofta, shake and bake chicken,
Yeah.
which is all very normal and tasty. And honestly, I'm a little jealous.
Except
But
for the
Nick
melted ice cream.
can't seem to shake one weird habit when it comes to his ice cream. He will actually take ice cream out of the freezer.
We don't just
scoop
have them in
it into
cardboard
a cup,
boxes.
and he'll microwave it until it turns into a liquid.
That's not okay. Whoa! I am not a psychopath. No. Number one, we got to clear some things up. Okay, that was just a weird thing where we had it in a box. I think we were using it for like smoothies and stuff, but they come in tubs. We're not barbarians over here in Canada, promise. Number two, okay, I will heat it up like the rare occasion a little bit. So it gets partially melted. Because you ever have like soft serve ice cream at Dairy Queen, Costco, McDonald's? You can taste it more when it's like that soft serve melted vibe. When ice cream is rock hard solid, you're eating it and you're like, I can't taste this. And that's all. So I made the meme of like microwaving my ice cream. But I actually never used to do that, and I actually don't even do that. I'm gonna be honest. I lied.
Cream out of the freezer.
I'm a liar.
Scoop it into a cup, and he'll microwave it until it turns into a liquid. Now, at least that's not dangerous like number 4.
Yeah.
Nick A30's scary encounter doing a food challenge.
Yeah.
So for some reason, Nick A30 decided to do a hot pepper challenge.
Mix it up.
He managed to get through most of the peppers and completed the challenge for the video. And when he was finished, he thought he was fine, but a few hours later, he started to have some agonizing pain in his stomach. So
Yeah.
he decided to ask his dad to take him to the hospital. On the way to the hospital, panic started to set in. His face was getting numb. He was closing his fist and unable to open it.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
He really started feeling like he was going to die. Once he got to the hospital, he was put in a waiting room for a couple of hours, and while sitting there, he started to feel better. Eventually, he decided to just go home without seeing a doctor. It turns out it was mostly the panic from the pain that caused most of these symptoms, and I'm just really glad that he ended up being okay.
You're really glad, Cypher? Are you? I'm kidding.
Okay, that caused most of these symptoms, and I'm just really glad that he ended up being okay. Okay, switching over from that, at number 5, did you know that there is a special secret about Nick A30's glasses?
What?
So he lives in Eastern Canada, and a lot of the conventions he attends are in the United States. And while he loves meeting fans, it's always a bit of a trip to go out there, so he always makes one special stop when visiting California. So Nick wears a very special type of glasses that is only made in a place in California. So every time he goes out there, he picks up a new pair in case one of his old ones needs to be replaced.
Okay, I did that I did that once. Well, okay, but first off, how the heck did he know that? But no, I have these glasses. I really like them. They're half back frames or like open back frames. So like right here, you see how there's nothing, like it's just wide open, whereas this is the frame. I feel like it matches my face well because I have baggy eyes. But yeah, like I try to get this specific brand, and because it's good quality, like I've dropped this, I've thrown it on the ground, and it still lasts. It's a pretty pricey brand, but I mean, it's good. And you can't get them here, at least not in Nova Scotia. So I got them like one time I got them in New York. And then when I went back to like California, I found the exact same pair and I got them there. But apparently they stopped making them. So yeah, how did he know that?
He picks up a new pair in case one of his old ones needs to be replaced. Like, what if he needed a new pair after getting into a fight? And yes, Nick A30 has gotten into fights.
Oh, yes.
Because when he was younger, some kids used to pick on him. And sometimes Bro A30 would be there to defend him. But Nick A30 wanted to take things into his own hands and started to take a liking to martial arts.
I didn't say that's why I got into martial arts. Okay, all that stuff you learn in like Taekwondo and like self-defense is garbage, man. Like, it does not help you in any scenario. It's like, if somebody grabs you, twist your hand, pull back, and do this. If somebody grabs you by the throat, do this, 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 and boom. It's like, nah, bro, just like do whatever you gotta do to survive. Like, kick them in the nuts and run away, whatever. But anyway, my point is, yeah, like, you know, I got into like some fights when I was younger because people were being like D-bags and whatnot. Like, you know, I had people make fun of my jeans and stuff. And then, you know, that was in elementary school, even when I was young. And so like, I remember going back, we had little portables, like little schools. And I'm like, you want to make fun of me? You want to make fun of me? Let's fight. Let's fight. And like, that guy obviously didn't want to back down because he thought he was cool and all that stuff. And, you know, I fought that guy. And then once, there are certain scenarios where if you're getting bullied and you stand up for yourself, if people know there's a consequence to what they're doing, typically they stop, but not all the time. Like, they'll still do it, but they're a little more hesitant, right? Like, if you let someone bully you, and I'm not saying to fight and violence is not the answer, but if you let someone bully you and bully you and bully you and bully you, and they know you're not going to do anything, you're just going to take it, they're going to keep on doing it because it makes them look tough. It makes them look cool. So anyway, like I fought a few people in elementary school. Junior high, I got into some fights. There was one time in junior high where I just got into grade 7 and there was grade 9s, and there were these like, and you know, that's a big age gap when you're younger. And like they were in like a little group, because I went to a little bit of a ghetto school. They were in like a little bit of a group, and all my friends were little chickens. They wouldn't help me. They wouldn't back me up or anything. and you know, they basically jumped me when I went out for lunch, and he sucker punched me, and then another sucker punched me like just out of nowhere. They kind of circled me, and all my friends just left. And then, you know, my brother came down like the next day to check up on me and stuff, but the thing is, you get into a fight there and you fight someone, it's like a thing that just keeps on happening at the school that I went to. So it's like, it's best to let it like die down and whatnot. But yeah, like I would always never let anyone like try to do anything and, you know, allow them to pick on anyone really. Like I didn't like it when they picked on my friends or anything like that. And you know, that stuff happened a lot because there were definitely like different groups at my school where like different cliques, you could say. So, you know, that stuff like happened quite a bit. There was always fights, but high school, I didn't really get into fights because I wanted to get into a good university and I was scared that would go on like my record. Turns out, I guess that doesn't even matter. I don't even think they look at that, to be honest. But yeah, I still never let anyone like pick on me. And people knew that. Like I had a reputation that like, I was one of those people that I was like friends with a lot of people, like pretty much all groups, but I never really like took that anywhere. I never really went out and partied on the weekends or anything, but everybody knew me. Everyone knew who I was. They knew I was tough. So, you know, I never really, got into any trouble in high school or anything, but that's not why I took up martial arts. Martial arts was just something that I think my dad put me in, Taekwondo, just something to do and, you know, kill some time and stuff. But yeah, let's see what he says.
He wanted to take things into his own hands and started to take a liking to martial arts. He ended up becoming a Taekwondo blue belt, and while he's competed in competitions, he's also been in some real fights with other kids. Yes, the family-friendly Nick A30 has thrown hands with someone at some point. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But his love for wrestling goes a lot deeper. At number 7...
Not a love for wrestling, a love for MMA. UFC MMA.
Nick was a massive fan of wrestling, and he always had one...
No, I liked WWF back in the day, which is now WWE, but UFC was MMA is what I liked.
Idol. The Canadian UFC legend, Georges St. Pierre. So you can
the way he says that.
big idol. The Canadian UFC legend, Georges St. Pierre. So you can imagine how special it was for Nick when he got the opportunity to hop in the octagon with GSP.
Yeah.
He spent most of the day sparring with him, training with him, doing
literally my hero,
rolling, and even getting to talk about each other's careers. It was a massive moment for Nick A30, but everyone on TikTok is talking about this moment.
You think you're the king? I'm the king. Oh, wait. Guys, holy, you're getting banned. That's it, okay? You're banned. Good job.
And the memes that spawned out of this have been...
Okay, I can see why. That's a funny clip. Like, in the moment, genuinely, I was ready to throw hands with that guy. But now that's funny.
Endless.
Mods ban that guy and blow up his fucking house.
But what does Nick A30 think about this right now? If you guys haven't seen, Nick A30 is still trying to record 100-player customs, and sometimes it takes him over 4 hours to record one 30-second clip.
Used to take like an hour.
And stream sniping that he's experiencing is worse than I've ever seen it before in Fortnite. And Nick A30 is struggling to play regular Battle Royale or pretty much anything other than private creative lobbies. While the TikTok attention is fun, he really just wants to be able to enjoy his stream without it being ruined. He wishes that he could go back to how things used to be, but maybe not too far back.
I appreciate like all the like nice people that have joined the community and stuff, though. It's such like awesome. There's a lot of positivity, but you know, obviously with that, there's a little bit of negativity, but I'm so grateful.
Because he didn't get his start with Fortnite. He actually played The Last of Us
before that Splinter Cell Double Agent.
Yeah, apparently there's a multiplayer game mode in The Last of Us, and he was a small content creator at the time, covering updates and doing gameplay around that. And Nick, I actually ended up finding some of your old logos from back in this era, and your logo has definitely come a long way.
I made them all, by the way. Made them all.
But Nick might have
I'm not proud of them,
who he is today,
but I did.
If it wasn't for number 10. A massive shout out from the biggest YouTuber in the world. And I'm not talking about Mr. Beast, because back then the biggest YouTuber was PewDiePie.
Yep.
And Nick A30 was very influenced by him. He would sometimes say the exact same things that PewDiePie would say during his Last of Us playthroughs, and that's why sometimes he swore during his old videos. So you
Yeah.
can imagine
Wow,
how
he actually
excited
found
he
that.
was when PewDiePie announced that he was going to make a video shouting out small creators that he enjoyed. Thousands of creators submitted their channels to be shouted out by PewDiePie, and only a handful were selected.
First one is Nick A30. His channel does Last of Us multiplayer stuff. It's really funny, and I haven't seen anyone else do this, so I thought that was pretty cool.
He got a massive shout out from the
Dang, look at
biggest
those
YouTuber
arms.
at the time, gaining thousands of new subscribers. And this was a huge moment for Nick A30, pretty much telling him that this YouTube thing could really work out for him. But things...
So yeah, actually that PewDiePie. Oh
Nick,
crap.
Take a seat!
Nick, you shook hands with some...
Heck? Where was that? Oh, he did.
Huge moment for Nick A30.
Okay, yeah. So this PewDiePie shout out, just so people know, like, it was a big thing for me. And a big thing for my channel, a big moment, a milestone, but not in terms of like subscribers, because I think I gained at the end of it like 9,500 subscribers, around 10,000 subscribers, which, you know, it's a lot back then, but not as much as you know, as it is, or I guess it's just, it's not enough to like make or break your career kind of thing, but it was enough to say like, hey, I'm doing something right. And like my favorite YouTuber and the biggest YouTuber have recognized me. And it was really cool to share that with my parents when they were like kind of saying, don't do YouTube, don't do content. But again, it didn't do much because I was a university student at the time where I got that shout out. So I wasn't even uploading. I think after he shouted me out, I didn't do a thank you video till a week later. And then after that, I didn't upload again until a month later. And then my views are back to normal. So it really didn't do much for anyone that like thinks like PewDiePie like made this guy's career, that sort of thing. Like it really, like my big come up was Fortnite, and you know, the grind on that and the edit god and that sort of thing. So, but I was still grateful, like I said, because that was such a huge milestone for me at the time.
Pretty much telling him that this YouTube thing could really work out for him. But things didn't really start to pick up until number 11, when Nick A30 started playing Fortnite. Now we all know Fortnite is one of Nick A30's favorite games, but Nick, if you're watching, what about Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Or Splinter Cell Double
Yeah.
Agent? Or SOCOM 2?
Yeah.
But anyways, in September 2017,
Those are my favorite games. Literally listed them all. And Splinter Cell Double Agent is like Spies vs. Mercs online. 3v3 was what I made content on before that, which again, now it's deleted. I mentioned at the beginning of the video.
Nick A30 started streaming Fortnite on YouTube. And you can't forget his classic plaid shirt that he wore, including his first win and his classic.
Nick, what's the game called? It's called Fortnite. It's free.
But the real way Nick A30
we remade
blew
that.
up was not from a lucky shot.
I want
The early hours of the morning to stream
Like 5
Fortnite
a.m.
before people were even awake.
Yep.
Since Fortnite was extremely competitive, being on that early allowed him to get a shot at being noticed by the viewers.
Yep.
And he did. More and more people were catching on to Nick A30's streams and loving his positivity and energy around the game. And at number 12, the real reason Nick A30 started to become popular in Fortnite was because he was a god at Fortnite editing.
Yeah.
Even gave him the nickname the Edit God. Nowadays, Nick A30's editing is fast. Don't get me wrong, he's cracked. But back then, his editing was literally
This was the clip.
pinnacle of what it meant to
Oh, he
edit
skipped it,
fast.
though.
And while you might watch this and think this is kind of basic, no one was doing this back in the day. But he's not just a Fortnite editor, because at number 13, did you know that Nick A30 edits all of his videos? That's right. Even though Nick A30 could hire a bunch of editors, he actually edits
I still
all
love
of his
it, man.
own videos. His main channel videos, his shorts, the reels he posts on his Instagram, he edits it all himself in his own editing software. When he started making videos for his YouTube channel, he really fell in love with the editing process and has stuck with him ever since. He wants to add his own touch to his videos, and it definitely shows. But because he's editing all his videos, it leads to a lot of late nights and long weekends, because when he's not streaming, he's basically editing.
Yeah, that's true. One of the reasons why I still like editing my videos is because, like, no doubt I'm cringy. I understand that. And when I think one of the biggest reasons why people will click off a YouTube video is because they feel uncomfortable, it's cringy, that sort of thing. So I like having that control of, you know, okay, my streams, it's raw me, but then the videos, I can make them super natural, super confident, super like upbeat. I can make them so there's no cringy moments. And I've just felt like no matter what I've done over the years when like going through different people and editors and that sort of thing, I understand the way and my vision and how I want to make my videos the best. And I feel like it's impossible to transfer that to someone else, right? It's funny, I was talking with someone over the weekend and they refer to it as like art, right? Like video editing can be like art. And it's so true. It's like everyone has their own interpretation and their own style. And you can get it close, but I just feel like the way that I like doing it, it's hard to replicate and it just takes too much time. So I like structuring my videos and making them a certain way, you know?
Gotta respect Nick for that, but he also got the Fortnite community's respect when he broke the Fortnite
I remember
squad
that.
kill record. And he
Yeah.
actually did this twice. The first time he was teaming up with One Shot Girl
Versus Tfue
while
and Cloak.
going up against Cloaksy and Tfue during Fortnite Friday. Two duos would join into a squad and have to get the most eliminations, and both teams popped off, getting 55 kills in one game, which
Before
was the
AI.
squad kill record on PC. But Nick wasn't done yet, because one season later, Fortnite decided to host a similar competition, so Nick A30 decided to team up with Replays. He went up against FaZe, Space Lion, and Turkey Lips, and they combined for 56 eliminations, setting the new squad kill record on PC. Nick's constantly trying to push himself, which is why it's no surprise at number 15, Nick A30 loves the gym. Now, he loves his morning jogs, but sometimes it's just too cold for him to go out for a run.
I'll still go.
You have to figure out
I still go, like, I'll wear hats, gloves, everything. I'll go it every single day in the wintertime if I have to.
another way to stay active. So in 2018, he decided to get a gym membership, and the rest was history. Sometimes he'll post on Twitter with some pictures.
Wait, what was that?
But sometimes he'll post on Twitter with some pictures showing just how jacked he really is. And it's honestly surprising for someone who plays Fortnite all day. And he's very consistent with the gym, because one time we were at a convention for Fortnite Twitch Rivals, and he ran into Loser Fruit because he had to go get an early morning pump before the tournament. But at number 16, Nick A30 also has a love for cars. Nick A30's dad actually owned an auto shop.
Yeah.
And while Nick A30 was only 9 years old, he decided to participate
That was a
in
wedding
his
we went
family
to.
business. This taught Nick A30 a lot about being an entrepreneur. His dad actually passed the certification to become a mechanic by fixing things on his own and then just showing up and acing the test.
Yeah.
He has a love for cars, and his car of choice is his blue Volkswagen Golf R that he loves to drive during the summer. Now, some people say he might have had another car, but I don't know much about that. Let's get to number 17, when Nick A30 and I went NASCAR racing. That's right. Back in 2021, NASCAR actually invited myself and Nick A30 to go to the Daytona 500. And some of the race car drivers actually took us around the lap a few times, reaching speeds up to 200 miles per hour. It was
Oh, yeah. And I guess that's a rare photo. That's my brother. My real brother. You know, you see Bro 30 in the chat. That's actually my brother. He's adopted. I'm kidding. I'm joking. We're blood brothers from my mommy and my daddy.
9 years old. He decided to participate in his family business. This time,
and by the way, also, we used to work with our parents every single day, and like every morning before school, at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., we'd go down to my parents' shop and we'd push out tires, like these big old tire racks with tires on top, tires on bottom, and we'd have a little dolly, we'd hook it in and start put our hands on and start pushing them up, the big old dollies, the big old tire racks. And we do that. It was 6 of them. They were really heavy and it was really hard. It was uphill. And point is, we would do that because, you know, you don't want anyone stealing the tires at nighttime when you're closed. So every morning we do it, we push them out, and at nighttime we push them back in the garage and lock the doors. And after school, we'd help our dad with tire changes, oil changes, putting cars on hoists. And then especially during tire season, aka from summer to winter and from winter to summer, or I guess like the other seasons, basically whenever you're putting winter tires on, whenever you're putting summer tires on, we would be doing tires until like 11 p.m. at night. So we'd work nonstop. That was technically my first job. And, you know, we did that for years. And then I had another job working at a car dealership, Volkswagen. Obviously, go figure. I love Volkswagens. Detailing cars. I would clean them interior, exterior. And then I was just a full-time university student. I had a student loan and I was just studying nonstop. So I didn't have a job after that. And then eventually I took a year off and, you know, I pursued content full-time and, you know, the rest is history from there.
Years old, he decided to participate in his family business. This taught Nick A30 a lot about being an entrepreneur. His dad actually passed the certification to become a mechanic by fixing things on his own and then just showing up and acing the test. He has a love for cars, and his car of choice is his blue Volkswagen Golf R that he loves to drive during the summer. Now, some people say he might have had another car, but I don't know much about that. Let's get to number 17, when Nick A30 and I went NASCAR racing. That's right. Back in 2021, NASCAR actually invited myself and Nick A30
Me and
to go
Cypher.
to the Daytona 500, and some of the race car drivers actually took us around the lap a few times, reaching speeds up to 200 miles per hour. It was a great time.
That was
And now we
crazy.
need to talk about number 18. Nick A30's long lost brother.
Long lost?
Everyone's seen the memes on TikTok. There's this
He's not my
guy that
brother.
looks exactly like Nick A30, and some people call him Nick A15. His name is G Bills, but is he actually his brother?
No.
Well, Nick A30 does have a brother, but it's not him. Bro A30 is his brother, and he actually does help him out with his streams sometimes.
Yeah, we did a
He
video.
helps him pass out V-Bucks sometimes and also helps him with sponsorships. And
Yeah.
if Nick A30 is asking the mods to ban someone, it might be Bro A30. For number 19, I
Mods?
had a crazy experience with Nick A30 that I completely forgot about. Nick A30 and I
We
were
went on a win
actually
streak.
playing duos when we both got a donation from someone at an esports center. They said there was a bunch of kids watching our stream and they wanted us to give them some life advice. But also, if we won that game, they would all get free ice cream.
Love ice
So the
cream.
pressure was on.
Every weekend
Nick
I go.
A30 and I were giving life advice while clutching up a duo match when Nick A30
Did I just die to fall? He said while clutching up.
Nick A30 and I were giving life advice while clutching up a duo match when Nick A30 got knocked, but luckily I finished off the last two players and all the kids celebrated because they were getting free ice cream. The crazy
probably were
part
gonna give
about
it to him
this is
anyway.
I completely forgot this happened, and it just shows how long I've been playing Fortnite. But at number 20, Nick will never forget his charity stream incident. Nick A30 loves doing charity streams for causes that he's passionate about.
Aw.
So one day he was doing a charity stream for cancer research when he got this life-changing donation.
Oh, wait. What? $20,000? Are you serious? Like,
That's extremely wholesome. And
I think it ended up being fake, if I'm not mistaken. And then after he donated $20,000, he donated $100 million. Don't ask me how that went through, but at the end of the day, none of it went through. But I don't know how I got the alert for that. But yeah, it was for a charity stream, and they did that. So it's kind of dumb. But anyway,
and at number 21, he did another charity stream
with Jack Black.
with Jack Black? Yeah, Jack Black actually plays games, but it was still a surprise when he joined Nick A30 and Sancho West during a charity stream where they were raising money for a children's hospital.
Yeah.
It was a huge success and there was a ton of funny moments, but let's switch gears. I want to tell you about number
That's kind of cool that he
22.
mentioned that. This is a good video.
Nick A30's huge inspirational story. Nick A30 actually went to college to major in psychology and biology.
Hey, remember I told you guys I got 90s and up? Look at that. Pre-calculus, geography, chemistry 12. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I worked my booty off. When I tell you guys this is all that I did.
Nick, don't ask how I know that. But his goal
Wait, what
was
was
to
it?
major in psychology and biology. Nick, don't ask how I know that. But his
Yeah.
goal was to become
Wait,
a
what- sorry, what did he say?
inspirational story. Nick A30 actually went to college to major in psychology and biology. Nick, don't ask how I know that.
Okay, I won't because it's a little bit off. I majored in microbiology and immunology. It's just a fancy name for microbiology. Biology, basically. It's not biology, but it's microbiology. And I didn't like it. In my third year, I ended up changing it to psychology. I was going to do like a minor and whatnot, but I just ended up doing a major in that. And then my third year where I switched it, that's where I ended up taking that year off. Like I think it was just at the beginning of the year because I started not to enjoy it.
But his goal was to become a doctor, and he was still trying to juggle YouTube on the side. And while trying to do both, his grades started to slip, and he went from being a straight A student to failing. He was extremely burnt out, and while trying to juggle his YouTube channel and
Oh man, there were times where I just wasn't even like I got to a point for going from straight A's to just like I didn't even show up for exams worth 30%, 20% of my grade because I didn't even study. There were points where I was staying up all night. There was actually points where I remember during that time, I think I was playing Destiny, and I was just like taking my mind off it by just doing raids and stuff at like 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm not even joking. It got rough. Like, I was very unhappy at that point in my life. Very unhappy.
His grades falling behind, he reached a breaking point. Nick A30 was faced with a tough decision: pursue becoming a doctor or chase his dreams on YouTube. His parents weren't always on board.
Yeah.
Nick A30 had to record videos in hiding when his parents
For
weren't
real.
home because they didn't want him to do YouTube.
Yeah.
But after a lot of convincing, Dad A30 decided to give him 1 year. And Nick was determined to make this work at all costs.
Yeah, I would wait until my parents would leave the house. Like, so I get back from school and stuff, and they'd be working for like a couple more hours. I would try to like record everything then. If they were in the house, I would on the weekend, which they were, I'd be like, you know, I'd wait until they left. I'd open the window, I'd check, I'd shut the window, shut the blinds, I'd shut my door, because the house was small. Like, you could hear everything from the top. Well, I was upstairs. You could hear everything. It'd echo through the house. And like, they didn't want me doing that. So like, you know, it was hard. I didn't have their support at first, so I didn't feel comfortable. And, you know, my dad would be upset, like, if I'd be, like, commentating and all that stuff. So I would, like, hide and try to, not hide, but I would try to do it in, like, secret, you know?
He went all in to chase his dream of becoming a full-time content creator. He stayed up late at night, constantly making videos for his channel.
That's why I edited
his dad
instead
was
of
extremely
streaming.
supportive by turning half of the garage into a studio for Nick to record.
We moved houses. And yeah, he turned the garage. I actually have it if you swipe all the way up on my Instagram. We have like photos of us building that room. Like, my dad built it. Like, we're all tearing down walls and everything.
As someone who went through something similar, that warms my heart. And at number 23, we also have to talk about Dad A30. Because one of Nick A30's secret weapons for his stream is his dad. For some reason,
Yep.
he is a tech expert and is extremely
so good.
with technology,
He built it all.
including streaming equipment. He built Nick A30's entire setup, building his PC
That included.
from scratch and coordinating everything with his camera and OBS. We absolutely love a supporting dad, but we also need to talk about number 24. The time Nick A30 met Mr. Beast. That's right. Back then, Mr. Beast was doing a lot of Fortnite videos, so he decided to do a 100-player battle royale in real life. He invited a bunch of battle royale streamers, and when he put out the tweet, Nick A30 was the first to respond. He ended up going with Replays and Sancho, and it was a great time.
I remember that.
But speaking of Sancho West, he's a big part of Nick A30's stream.
Yeah.
But how did they exactly meet? They actually met because Sancho was also a Last of Us multiplayer content
Yeah.
creator, and he was actually a bigger creator at the time
Kyle
and ended up
Duffy.
using one of Nick A30's loadouts, and they started talking ever since. They've been best friends ever since, but nothing will come close to Nick A30's true love, Taylor Swift.
I was like,
That's
where
right.
is this
Nick
going?
A30 is a certified Swiftie.
It's Taylor Swift.
If you search up Nick A30 Taylor Swift, he has a bunch of tweets tagging Taylor Swift and talking about how much he loves her music. I bet you didn't know that. But did you know that Nick A30 was in YouTube Rewind?
Yeah.
Nick A30
Oh, that's
actually
hot.
flew across the country to be in this video and filmed with YouTube for days. And they
One
ended up
day.
using just one shot of him rubbing his hand. And it ended up being the most disliked video in YouTube history.
Come on, bro. Why's he gotta mention that? Yeah, we spent the whole, like, basically, I spent the day getting there, like 12 hours flying, and then a day back, another 12 hours, and then the day there, which was the whole day. We went from like 7 a.m. to like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And then, yeah, they ended up using that. We had a bunch of different takes, but we're also in the bloopers a little bit.
But I also dislike Nick A30 because at number 28,
What?
we need to talk about the beef Nick A30 and I have.
The lever shotgun and the rapid fire SMG.
Back in chapter 2, there were two weapons that Nick A30 and I were championing. I was pushing for the rapid fire SMG, and Nick A30 loved the lever action
It's
shotgun.
still so good.
So we had to put it to the test and went face to face in multiple videos. And to this day, this rivalry still lives on, and that's why I'm no longer friends with Nick A30. But even still, I hope number 29 comes true.
He's lying.
The Nick A30
Me and Cypher go on ice cream dates all the time.
icon skin. He's one of the most requested icon skins, staying loyal to the game ever since the beginning, constantly making videos and
That was
live
really cool.
streaming.
I commented
And
the
who
Summer
knows,
Skirmish.
Maybe it's in the works. He's said things that might imply it's happening, or maybe it's just jokes. I've been personally guilty of doing both. Those were 29 facts. And for number 30, I got a few that I just couldn't fit in here. Hey, Nick A30, were you a mathlete?
Yeah.
Do you start TV shows but never quite finish them?
Why is he getting so personal? Why is he looking at me like that? I'm scared. Yeah, in high school, I was doing extracurricular activities. I was in the mathletes. I was doing extra help, like peer-to-peer tutoring. I was doing a bunch of different stuff. So yeah, that's correct. Finishing TV shows, yeah, because I'm always like working, so I'll start them and then I'll go to bed. I'll fall asleep like midway through, kind of thing, I guess.
Did you used to play guitar? And
Yeah.
does your aunt live in Australia? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching 18.
I have an aunt in New York. I have an aunt in Australia. I used to play guitar, acoustic and electric. I remember for my birthday, my dad got me a Walmart electric guitar. It came with an amp because it was like super cheap. And yeah, that's what I started my electric guitar journey on. But first I started with acoustic.
I'll see you guys next time.
Did he say
Live
A-Team?
in Australia? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching A-Team. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, yo, as commander-in-chief of the A-Team, Sypher is officially the co-leader. I approve of that man. GG.
Nick A30 has been